It's Magical Theory Podcast.
We are back.
Yes, 1 week off.
We
had
did
a week
take
off.
we did take another week off. What's going on? How is
Well, we're cruising along though. We're on the first task. Like
this chapter was so long. It was 25 pages long, and I know what happens, but
it
it
was
was
long.
described.
It was long. I didn't remember.
feel
Well,
like
we can talk about it, but
yeah.
yeah. But I think we're doing good. It's great. I mean, geez, it's amazing.
We're finally getting into the story.
For the fourth book,
20
it takes a
chapters
long
later.
time.
My
Yeah,
goodness. I know
there's a lot
we
of
said that a
drama.
couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, but I'm still like, "Oh my gosh, come on people.
Yes,
Come
100%.
faster. Get to the point faster." No, it's great. It's great. How's it going? What's going on?
I'm good. We've been busy doing
We
some
finished.
Hogwarts Legacy things, which has been fun.
Oh, I was gonna bring up the Book of Boba Fett for any of y'all who
Book of
watched
Boba
that.
Fett, Legends of Vox Machina,
Yep.
How I Met Your Father
How I
ongoing.
Met Your Father is on. Yeah. I think there's well, actually, I don't know. It's been a while since SNL because the Olympics. This is my like the Olympics are great.
No,
Fine.
SNL is back though, right?
I know, but
Okay.
the Olympics are great, fine. But
they weren't.
you interrupted all my shows. This is us. Anyway, yeah, so I guess athletes, fine, whatever. Oh, I watched Dune. I was on an
on your
airplane.
plane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never read the story, so I don't really know anything about it. I was pretty much like just trying to understand who are these people, what is actually going on. It was really good though. I liked the way that it looked, and it seemed like, I don't know, it was just a very nicely produced movie. So and there's more. I don't know. So I'm like jumping into stories and fandoms that I don't understand, but it's all good.
Yeah. Also, talking magical theory. So we're gonna do a special one
Yes.
tomorrow.
If you're able to attend tomorrow, which is so today is Sunday, February 20th, for those of y'all who are probably watching way in the future.
Good call.
But the 21st of February, Monday, we're doing a special episode on Hogwarts Legacy. Well, it's Hogwarts Legacy and RPGs. And so
we're going to talk about the potential for RPG mechanics and how we hope or think they might manifest.
Yeah, this will be interesting because we've played different kinds of games. So I like collectively, we can probably talk about different things.
Yeah.
And we also probably have different opinions about those things.
Yes.
So as players,
and preferences of like how important it is to us and things.
Yes.
And then the other thing I want to say is that Lynette, you let me know that apparently I at one point put the kibosh on the end of book episode of Magical Theory. Well, I have changed my mind and came to you and I was like, we never did a book 3 one.
Yes, I was not nice about it, but I was using all of my restraint not to.
I don't recall
I
this.
told
so
you
it was
so.
a specific mood, I guess, when I said that.
Oh my gosh.
When I was looking back, I was like, oh, we should definitely do it. So I'm going to put that on my list of things to do to kind of formulate a setup for that, and maybe
we'll
do
care at all
episode.
about Prisoner of Azkaban recap summary.
Chamber of Secrets, we still weren't doing it live, right? Those were recorded.
Yeah.
But so this will be the first live one. But we'll do another special episode of Magical Theory where we talk about Prisoner of Azkaban as a whole.
And if you happen to miss the live stream about Hogwarts Legacy, we're still going to post it on YouTube. So
yeah.
All of these episodes are on YouTube. We haven't discussed whether we'll put it on podcast form. It depends on if it makes sense without any visuals, which I think it should. We're just going to be talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, Jeff starred in his first Hogwarts Legacy short where you were talking about Albus Dumbledore. Dumbledore in Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes.
The potential. We had some comments about making a Mean Girls reenactment.
Yes.
Which I am all for because I think that's hilarious, and Mean Girls is one of my favorite movies. And what else did we talk about? I think I saw some things about like potentially being your rival. I don't know. So there's potential. I wouldn't be against Dumbledore being in it.
Be my buddy. Not everyone feels that way, though.
No, that's true. Yeah. The Hogwarts Legacy live stream on Monday, the 21st, will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
6 p.m.
Evening stream to talk about stuff. All right.
Ready?
I am almost always Juan's ready.
Juan's ready. Turn to page 337, the first task. 337. My God.
I know.
Today's lesson is called Firebolt v. Horntail. The chapter begins with Harry, days away from his dance with the dragon. Most of his effort is going towards simply not completely freaking out and fleeing the castle. Hermione is helping Harry try to figure out what Sirius was going to tell him without any luck. Harry decides on telling Cedric about the dragons so that all 4 champions are working from the same knowledge. Moody oversees and takes Harry back to his office, which is filled with all sorts of fantastical magical objects. Moody encourages Harry to think about what he's good at, flying, and what he needs to do what he's good at, his firebolt. Harry and Hermione frantically practice the summoning charm Accio, before the day of the task. On the day, Harry pulls the terrible Hungarian Horntail and goes last. He listens as the crowd reacts with groans and cheers to the other 3 champions. Finally, it's Harry's turn, and he successfully summons his firebolt and outmaneuvers the Horntail, receiving only a mild burn to his shoulder. The scores come down, and as Bagman puts it, shorten the odds on Mr. Potter. Harry is relieved he survived the dragon task, but best of all, he and Ron finally make up as they learn his score and the fact that the next task is months away, and their only clue is to open the golden egg. That was a long summary. It was a long chapter.
It was a long chapter. I have a very important quote to share with you.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Dragons are extremely difficult to slay, owing to the ancient magic. I botched the quote already. Ancient magic that imbues their thick hides, which none but the most powerful spells can penetrate.
Bingo.
Ancient magic is very important.
Yes, it is. That's for Hogwarts Legacy. That's why when we learn in the future what Sirius was trying to teach Harry, to tell Harry to use the conjunctivitis curse, it's an eye attack, which is the magic. The ancient magic is in their hide, not their eyeball, and that's why their eyes are weak.
Well, Crumb went for the eye.
Yes, he did, because Karkaroff probably told him.
Deducted.
Yes, because this dragon stomped on real dragon eggs. Can we talk about that for a second?
Well, and also, look, this whole situation, I'm like with Madame Pomfrey, but not for the reasons that she's just like, oh, what danger. But I'm also like, all of these adults are just, they've lost it. I'm sorry.
Well, what? Nothing we can do. Binding magical contracts.
But even people like the dragon tamers, like Charlie Weasley or Hagrid, like you would think that although I guess they wouldn't necessarily be as vocal as Hermione, who like starts causes to be like, let's liberate the house elves. But I'm just like, how are you people okay with any of this, you know?
Well, wizards' relationships to dragons are very strained and strange.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a level of awe, which there probably should be, fear, which there probably should be, but also like it kind of reminds me of the nonsense of like big game hunting in real life.
Yeah.
There seems to be this kind of
yeah, it's interesting because
understanding of, bravery.
It's interesting to think about how dragons, the relationship of people or beings with dragons in different storytelling or contexts or worlds or stuff like that, because so in one of the Props Play D&D campaign that we were playing, the Earl Prof A was very specific about talking about what is the way that people treat dragons in this world, and it's like more of reverence, like a godlike type of thing. So it was slightly different of like, oh no, we're not here to like take down dragons, like it's more of a holy thing that or that power comes or magic comes from.
Well, I
dragon gods.
I suspect that there are cultural differences in how they view dragons for sure. This is definitely like a Western European approach to this type of work, which is not to say that somebody like Hagrid or somebody like Charlie Weasley or people who actually work with dragons aren't the types of people like that we have in real life that are sort of like very cognizant and somewhat reverential of like power of nature and
Yeah. Well,
creatures
even
and
Newt, like his whole endeavor to write
great
fantastic feats
perfect
and
example.
where to find them, like that was he was different than most people. Like,
And it's an unfortunate reality of the world that when you create something like that, Newt and all his purpose of doing all this research, it then of course gets taken up by other people who don't have the same motives and beliefs as you in order to do certain things. So I think
mm-hmm,
like we know his book kind of contributed perhaps to
mm-hmm.
like ministry classifications and all this type of
So do you think that they put the real dragon eggs in there
that's what it sounded like to me.
to make the dragons themselves actually protective? Because
More
like otherwise,
yes.
like
They wouldn't
there's this
care.
random golden egg. Like,
Yes. It'd be like
how would
Winnie,
you
he
make
would
that
smell
happen?
it and be like, this doesn't
Yeah.
smell like it's plastic. Okay,
Well,
bye.
because I almost said like, oh well, why don't they make them all fake? Like they're magical people,
Yeah.
just like do it. But
You'd think
that was
the
part of
yeah,
the
yeah.
Harry's thing is
That
like
was
the
my
dragon wouldn't
exact
leave.
feeling as well, but
Yeah.
it still seems insane. I mean, dragon's eggs have to be extremely precious, and Crumb's dragon just smushed a bunch.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
Wild.
dragon didn't just straight up kill
Absolutely
Crumb
wild.
immediately, being
Yeah.
like, "How
Or
dare
yeah.
you?"
I mean, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh. There was a mention, this is a very random comment, but when Harry and Hermione were studying for dragon, just they're all they had to go off of was dragon. So can you imagine? Hermione's just like, oh, let's find all of the books on dragons. But Harry, he tossed aside a specific named book, which
Hmm.
was Men Who Love Dragons Too Much, which I was like, okay. So I Googled that and apparently there is a Harry Potter fan fiction with that title. So for those of
Good,
y'all
that's
who
good.
like
Good, good,
fanfics,
good. I can only
um
imagine it could run the gamut of yeah, why would you look this up?
I was doing
This is a
research.
mistake. It's like
No.
looking up Centaur Love or whatever.
Oh my god, there is like a series
I'm
on
sure that
Centaur.
there
When we
is.
saw it, it was like
Yeah, yeah,
for
I
D&D.
think Zir brought it up.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Um yeah, so there you go. But going back to Crumb,
Yeah.
what I so Hermione just Hermione doesn't like him, his
No.
presence. Part of it, she keeps saying like, "Oh, these like girls are gonna be chasing after him," and like, sure enough, like, so they left the library to go to the common room to go
Yeah.
read, and she was right. But what's funny though, this might be just like, okay, growth, I guess. What's funny is that in book 2 with Lockhart, Hermione was one of those people. She probably doesn't see it in that way, but Lockhart was
Or
like
this is a
full of
reaction to
himself.
that,
Oh
and
yeah, it
now
could be
she's
that she's just
suspicious of
like, "Oh no,
fame,
this is
right?
right." But the difference though that I find so it seems obvious to me, I don't know if it's obvious to her if she's just like correlating the two situations is that Lockhart was eating it up. Like he loved the attention and the
Yes.
fame and Crumb is just there. He's not like
It
doing
let's
anything.
say it how it is. Hermione is wrong.
She is wrong.
Yes.
I'm
And
sorry.
so even though the sort of splash radius of the people who follow Crumb around is really annoying,
Mhm.
but like the fact that Crumb is famous is just because he's actually and there's big difference. The evidence that Crumb is who he is apparent. They literally watched him compete in the championship. So
Mhm.
it's yeah. But she's wrong. She's wrong, and actually, she's not empathizing with him at this point.
Not yet.
She may in the future, but at this point, she's not empathizing with the fact that like he's not really asking for it. He
No,
just wants to
he's
be in
just
the
a
library. He's
person.
trying to study. He is
I mean,
also under extreme stress. He's
it's similar to
also a
Harry.
champion.
I mean, Harry's not in the spotlight anymore for being the chosen
Not
one.
as
Everyone's
much.
kind of
Yeah.
used to it. It's just like, oh, this kid again. But, it's a similar sort
A
of
boy of
thing.
12.
Just a boy. Every time I'm like when McGonagall popped up a couple of times in this chapter, I keep in my head whenever I read her name, I'm just like,
That
but
was
he's just a
extremely
boy.
impressive, Potter. That's what she said.
Hmm. Isn't
And
there a scene
Harry
in the
was like,
movie
"This is
though where
that
she's
was
just like,
high praise from her."
he's just a boy? Can you imagine
Yes,
you're
there
like the
is.
teacher and you like grow up
Potter's
with
just a boy.
yeah, you grow up with
What? Use him
kids
as bait?
from 11 to 18, like you're basically just seeing them grow up. Of course you're going to see them as they're 11 or at that
Mm-hmm.
age.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Harry was pretty clever when he was trying to get Cedric away from his friends.
Yes.
I thought that was a clever use of Diffindo.
Yes.
It was I don't know. I guess I don't give Harry enough credit for doing things because I'm always like Hermione's the one who figures everything out. But
Yes.
it was pretty good. Too bad that he ruined Cedric's new bag though.
I love, yeah. Riparo. I love the idea too that like I think at some point when he finally masters the summoning charm, there's that exchange where he's like, yeah, you just have to threaten me with a dragon and I'll learn a spell. And then I was also thinking about how he mastered Expecto Patronum. You just got to threaten him with a dragon or a Dementor.
Just death. Threaten him with death and he'll be like, I'll rise to the occasion.
Yeah, like,
okay, we have a new special segment of Hogwarts for people like Harry Potter who are only motivated by extreme adrenaline.
Yes, it's called the Constant Triwizard Tournament, and it's just task after task.
Oh my gosh, those kids would probably be so paranoid as adults. They'd be like, "Danger is everywhere. I must be wands ready at all times."
Being a high achiever.
Oh, it's actually little aura training wheels, like auras and training.
Dragons, dragoons.
We see Moody a couple times throughout the chapter.
The Moody School, yes.
The Moody School. I love it.
It's a offshoot of Montessori.
Yeah, except the complete opposite like vibe.
Yeah,
where Montessori is all about like I don't know, whole child. Well, I guess it is.
I don't actually know that much.
To my understanding, Montessori is like holistic, and so it counts. It was kind of more notable for like emotional aspects or just like the whole person,
so not
rather than like compartmentalizing everything. So yeah, that's
a reactionary school.
But Moody has a bunch of dark detectors in his office. One that keeps humming, which I don't know how. Maybe he just went too fast because Moody claims that the secrecy sensor, whatever it's called, sensor, is humming because all those darn kids are lying about their homework. Like, what? Well, maybe Harry is just like, yeah, that seems right because maybe he does lie about his homework. Like, oh yeah, Hermione actually did it, but I'm not going to say it.
Wow, bold. No wonder he only knows 2 spells.
But there's that's another hint that something is not right with this Moody.
Yeah, I thought it's a clever thing, right? Moody doesn't he doesn't ignore the fact that all these weird things are here.
Yeah,
and he plays it up, and like it just feels consistent. Of course, he would have these
give
things.
Barty Crouch Jr. And whatever a wizarding Oscar for like you're playing another person and you're doing it very well
with an eye replacement and a leg replacement.
Yeah, like there's to my understanding or reading so far, there's no slip ups. There's only things that can be interpreted in multiple ways if you have a specific piece of information. So that's good job. Well done.
Yep. Even so far as to justify why he's helping Harry. Which is well, these other goofballs are getting help.
Look.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of help.
I mean, okay, this whole situation is sus with the Triwizard Tournament. I mean, Moody is sus for a different reason. But then you also have Ludo Bagman, which he's just like being a little aggressive with trying to help Harry. And if I were Harry, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Like,
I love how ridiculous it is. Because it's like literally the morning of. He's like, hey, you need any help?
It's like seconds before he leaves to go do the announcing. And he's just like, oh, no one will know, Harry. Wink, wink.
And then he gives Harry a 10.
I'm like.
And Harry's like,
oh, yeah.
What?
And then Harry's like, no, something's.
Why would I get a 10?
Up here. Yeah, well, at least it got balanced out.
Also, can we talk about Karkaroff? Yeah, what the hell?
How is it
That's
possible?
Such garbage.
Look, how is it possible that your headmasters are also the judges? Why don't you get a third party?
A Bagman and Crouch.
Okay, that's 2 people.
It's not good. Yeah, it's not good enough. Yeah, because as we see, Madame Maxime treated Harry relatively fairly.
She was fair, which
means she probably treats Crumb relatively fairly.
And this
which
guy
means
doesn't
Crumb
treat
automatically gets the benefit. I wonder if what Karkaroff gave Crumb 9, 10.
It gives Crumb when you have one person. This is the prisoner's dilemma when we do the money thing and Jackbox?
Yes, take the money. Lynette, I never take the
It
money. Don't
doesn't
worry.
work when one person screws everyone over.
We've been up
and
against each
everyone's
other
being
in
fair.
that so many times.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, usually I'm the person that screws other people over, but then it came back to bite me because I was like, no, I should be nice. I should be fair.
And you defended yourself at one point when it
I
was the
did.
3-person one of the attack, money, defend.
Yeah. I should never
Money,
defend myself. I should only attack people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've learned from that game. Yeah. So it is
Bagman.
interesting.
Bagman is such a trip. He's always really interesting on these rereads because he's not in the movies.
Mhm.
So like you have to really. I appreciate how difficult it must be to excise an entire storyline.
Yeah.
Right, because Bagman is involved here in multiple aspects. You got George and Fred. You got Harry.
Yeah,
You
I
got the
almost forgot
tournament
about
in
George and
general.
Fred. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
And it's the reason it was easy to excise is because it's actually a really good little story when it finally clarifies at the end of this book. Like the whole thing is its own sort of, there's one kind of thing behind all of it, which is really interesting.
yeah.
Which is basically gambling.
Well, it's really cool because it does like, I mean, the reality is that there's multiple things always going on, even if you have like, we're really looking at the perspective through Harry's eyes, but there's always like everyone else is like their own main character in their storyline. So it's interesting that, or how it plays out in a like more or less linear kind
I
of
love
storytelling
the fact
device, like a book.
that we have semi-background characters, or at least not the main characters, that have their own story.
Mm-hmm.
Like that this is, it really gives life to the story, because it's like, why is this guy acting so weird? And the benefit, the beauty of it is, it's not just because he's a weird guy, which
Yeah.
he is, but there's a reason why he's doing these things.
Yeah.
And I've always really, really liked that resolution when it finally happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am shifting gears a bit. I am very, very happy that Ron and Harry are finally friends again. You're making Hermione cry.
Yeah.
But it's like you can kind of see it, like you know, they are truly friends. So like it's just one of those things where like over time it's kind of like, because Harry and Ron caught eyes in divination, because Trelawney is like,
I'm glad, get it over with. I don't want.
Yeah. But Trelawney is just like predicting Harry's death. We should do a compilation of all the ways that she has predicted Harry's death.
Yeah,
that, and it's
more and more and more.
Yeah, and he's being like aggressively sarcastic, and it would be like a natural response of like, yeah, you're mad, but it's funny, and like you like Harry, and it's fine. It's fine. Little Ron, so nice, little best friends.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm happy because y'all need to like catch up and talk about all this drama going on with everyone, all the adults.
That's what
in
it'll be
your
next
school.
chapter. Yeah. Like this and this and this.
I
and
know.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
I'm glad they make up to.
Anything spell wise? Any tidbits? We have
Spell-wise.
Accio. Yeah, because the summoning
Big
charm
Accio.
was basically the main. I mean, we had Defendo, but Accio was the
and
main.
conjunctivitis, though it's not named.
Mm-hmm.
What did they say that? Oh, Cedric transfigured a rock into a dog. What did Fleur do? Tried to put it asleep.
Oh yeah, she
and
charmed
then it snored.
She charmed it, and it like
So it sounded like she did pretty good.
The fire
burned
her skirt while she was.
But it sounded like she did pretty good.
Yeah,
to me.
I mean, all
better
of them.
Than Cedric.
I'm sorry, all of you kids. Well, I guess to be fair, they all knew that dragons. Eventually, they all knew dragons were gonna be the thing. But can you imagine if nobody knew?
Cedric, it's like a day or two before.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that. Like, if Harry didn't tell Cedric, like,
he would have died earlier.
What was his plan? What was he prepping? What was he even doing? He must have been so stressed.
Yeah, he was probably just I don't know,
I
I don't know. I don't know
I don't know if
who
I'd
is.
be more stressed if I didn't know or if I knew that it was dragons.
It's not
I'd
like
be
so
more
it
stressed.
seems that both schools' headmasters are somewhat mentoring
Mm,
their
mm.
champion,
Yes.
but Dumbledore
Well,
doesn't
Moody says
seem.
that. He's like, I tried to tell Dumbledore that like he should be helping you,
Oh, okay, I
and
missed
that
that comment.
Maxime and Karkaroff
Karkaroff.
aren't gonna be hands off. They're gonna help
Yeah.
their champions.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, this is
I
also in
almost
part.
prefer that, right? I actually take it's like a coach. I don't see any problem with that. I think that would be better. Then I
Yes,
wouldn't have
but
them be the judges,
yes, exactly.
but it would be nice if like
I
there was some mentorship going
I do
on.
think I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
just throw them to the wolves, quite literally, or dragons, literally.
I don't know why anyone thought this was ever a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, age line got
Well,
broken. I guess
it's
Harry's gonna die
fine.
now.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, that's all that I have
I'm
for
good
today.
too.
All
Yeah.
right. Until next time.
One's
One's ready.
ready.